Hey, it's Lisa Robbin Young here with our inaugural question of the week video, and I'm excited to kick things off with this week's topic because I got a letter from a reader who wanted to remain anonymous, and she said, I freak out when I pick up the telephone when it's time to make calls, help. And you may not know this, but when I was young, I had a real hard time calling people on the phone. You could call me and I'd be like, blah, 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 and my mother would be like, get off the phone! Because I was on the phone constantly talking to people because I had no life. But I couldn't pick up the phone and call anybody else. Call your grandmother. Call and order a pizza. Even in college, I had a hard time calling home to my own mother because it meant picking up the phone and dialing the numbers and the anxiety of what if I got the wrong number and what if they laugh at me and hang up on me, and all of this stuff sounds silly now, but then I was petrified. I was absolutely terrified to pick up a phone. Now, my hope is that most of you don't actually have a phone phobia of, a fear of phones, and that this is just I don't want to pick up the phone and call my clients and do customer care kind of an issue. If you have a serious phobia issue, you probably need to see someone about that. I'm not here to treat or diagnose or any of that. All I can do is speak from my own experience. But if you have an issue with picking up the phone just to call your customers, this is something that we can talk about and handle pretty quickly. In fact, I'm going to do a whole call on it this week. So you might want to get registered for that if this is something that excites you. But for right now, let me just give you a couple of quick tips. The first thing that I had to do to overcome my phobia was put myself in a position where I had to use the phone. I actually took a job in a law office as a legal secretary, and I had to call the court every day, multiple times. And the first day I would call and hang up, and I'd get 6 digits, and I'd hang up, and it took me about 4 attempts at dialing all the numbers before I would stay there and go, okay, it's ringing. Okay, I'm going to talk to somebody now. Okay, they just picked up. Hi, I'm calling from the law office and da-da-da-da-da. So my first tip is practice. If you're getting on the phone and you don't know what to say, you haven't practiced. You don't have a problem picking up the phone and calling your best friend and saying, hey, what's going on with you tonight? What did you have for breakfast today? Or, want to go see a movie? If you don't have a problem with that, you can have just as much ease around calling your contacts and doing your customer care calls if you have a reason to connect with them. And a reason isn't, hey, I'm just calling to check in and see how things are going for you. You can look at the list of people you want to call and come up with one specific thing that you need to talk to them about, whether it's a host coaching issue or it's a specific customer follow-up issue. You can be specific with them and say, hey, you placed an order back in January, and I know it's been about 4 months, wanted to see if you needed to reorder the product or if you had any questions or concerns about what you purchased. But if you get on the phone and go, hey, I'm just checking in with ya, especially if it's the first call they've ever gotten from you, they're going to think you've wasted their time. They might not even remember who you are, and you don't want to do that to yourself because then you don't look professional. Instead, make a list of the 10 people that you're going to call today. And even if you just get their answering machine, be specific with them and say, hi, Tammy, this is Lisa. We met at Sarah's party, and you placed an order 2 months ago, and I wanted to make sure that you were happy with everything and see if you had any questions. Also wanted to let you know that if you're using the product appropriately, it's probably time to reorder or getting really close. Let me know. I'm here to be your consultant for life. And when you have those kinds of words that you have practiced, they roll off the tongue and you don't feel like you're stammering and stuttering. But practice is a big, critical, essential key to making sure that you're not freaking out when that phone is in your hand and you've got to do the dialing. We call it dialing for dollars because it's supposed to result in business. It shouldn't be dialing for panic or dialing for dilemma. It should be about releasing that anxiety and knowing that when you connect with someone on the other end, you're providing value to them, and hopefully they're going to be providing value back at you. So that's the answer to this week's question of the week. And if you have a question, I would love to hear from you. Send us an email, info@directsalesclassroom.com, and we read all the questions, so please feel free to send us tons if that's what you want to do. We do read them and would love to be able to answer your question in an upcoming video. If you like what we're sharing here at Direct Sales Classroom, please tell your friends and colleagues, subscribe to our video channel, and get all of this free information. You can also subscribe to our newsletter, where you'll also get additional bonus downloads, handouts, and other information to help grow your business into a noble empire. Until next time, this is Lisa Robbin Young signing off.